227. 227. So f derivative is 11 x10 minus 60 x9. So that will equal x9 and down 11x minus 60 equals 0. So when x equals, let's calculate the second derivative. Second derivative is 110 x power 9 minus 540 x power 8. So when x equals 0, I don't know what's happening. We'll have to come back to that one. When x equals 60 over 11, that'd be, let's see. That's a positive number, makes it a min. Oh, now let's see, can we figure out what happens here? So if I take out x power 8, that's 110 x minus 540. So when x equals 54 over 11, that's an inflection. Now I don't know what's happening at 0 because it's also the first and second derivatives are 0. So I'll have to look at the third derivative. It should be 990 x power 8 minus 4,320 x power 7. So again, we have the same problem. We keep going until we don't get a 0. But maybe if we look at the original function, you can take out an x power 10 in the original function and you're left with x minus 6. So without having to go through the 4th, 5th, 6th derivative, I might be able to think about the shape. X power 10 would definitely be a minimum. But then you have it times x power x minus 6. But that's not happening at 0. So at 0, I think it's a minimum as well. Because it'll be, hang on, times minus 6. I think it's a minimum. I might come back to that in a second. What about for it to be rising? So when is this a negative? When this is negative, when x is negative, but this is positive, x more than 6. When x is more than 60 over 11, that'll be positive, positive, so that'll be rising. When x is less than 0, that'll be falling. What about between 0 and 60 over 11? Yeah, that would be that one here, wouldn't it? So when x is between 0 and 60 over 11. So it's positive, but it's negative, so that's falling. Okay. More than 0, so that's a positive, but less than 60 over 11, so that's a negative, so the total will be negative. So then it must be when x is less than 0, negative, negative is a positive, or when x is more than 60 over 11, that means it's rising. Okay, Concave up is when the second derivative is positive. Okay, but this doesn't affect the sign, so we just need to look at this one here. So when x is more than 540 over 110, that's a positive. So it's concave up. When x is less than 540, 540 over 110, we can simplify, of course. It's 54 over 11. Then when x is less than 54 over 11, that would be a negative, which would make it concave down. So like I said, I still have to think about this first one. There is a way to calculate it using higher derivative, but because of the power, it's going to take a while to get there. So I can just mentally roughly sketch out here, or just look at what's happening to the left and to the right. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with a minimum without having to go through the trouble of all the derivatives. Fortunately, there's the answer at the back. We can check 227. Increase when x is less than 0. Yeah. And more than 60 over 11. Yeah. Decreasing. Yeah. Minimum at 60 over 11. Yeah. Concave down when less than 54 over 11. And concave up. And then inflection. Did I actually say inflection? I did. But doesn't mention what's happening at 0. So I'm going to examine it now. I'm going to examine it, see what's happening. Okay, let's clear this off. Make a bit of space. Oops. All right, here we go. I'm going to need a lot of derivatives here to do it the proper way. So at 0, and this is, where is it now? It's this one here, 227. So f of x equals x power 11 minus 6x power 10. So the problem is, well, f of 0 is 0, by the way. Okay, so f derivative of x is 11x10 minus 60x9. And here, f derivative of 0 is also 0. Second derivative, that's 110x9 minus 540x8. But again, the second derivative is 0. Third derivative is 990x8 minus whatever 540 times 8 is, x power 7. But again, you can see that the third derivative at 0 is 0. So you can see what's happening here. We need to keep going until one of the x's disappears. This will be the one to go first. So it'll become an x6, an x5, an x4, an x3, an x2, an x1, and then x0, which is gone. And it'll be a negative number. This is the third derivative. This will be the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth, the ninth, and the 10th. So we can conclude that the 10th derivative at 0 is a negative. What does that mean? Okay, so first derivative tells you if it's a min or a max. Then we go to the second derivative. So this tells you if it's a min or a max. So I'll write min or max. I'll just write mm. Then, sorry, it tells you where the min and max is, and then the second derivative tells you if it's a min or a max. So it tells you which one it is. Then the third derivative, if these two are 0, tells you if it's a rising saddle or a falling saddle. But if this is also 0, you have to differentiate again. And what happens is the fourth derivative goes back to being telling you where the min and max critical points are. I'll just write C for critical, be easier. So this tells you if it's a critical, so it's a 0 again, so it's a critical. Which type of critical is it? A second derivative is 0, so it could be a saddle. Go on to the third one. Third one is still a 0, so it fails. And we have to go back to the start. So this one tells you critical, which type it is, and a fail. So this one tells you it's a critical. Okay, so it looks like we'll need another derivative. So at this point here, this would have a positive x. Oh, sorry. No, it's not a 0 here. It's a negative. So it's not a turning point. It's just falling. It's not even a saddle point, I don't think. I kind of want to plot it to see, but it's definitely not a turning point. It's not anything interesting at all, I think. Just surprising. Let's have a look at it. It's just fallen. It's not even stationary, I think. X11 minus X11 minus 6x10. Don't know. Looks like a max to me. Weird. Am I looking at the wrong question? Increasing on increasing x is less than 0. Yeah. 60 over 11 is about 6. And then concave up for x more than 2. Deflection at 2. Okay, let's get to 2. Oops. It's not really a clear graph. You cannot see what's going on here. It does look like a max at 0 though. So I must have lost count of my derivatives here. Okay, let's have a look here. Okay. Let's differentiate this 10 times. Yeah, okay. Okay. So What is happening at 0? It's a negative. So it should be falling. Is the graph so small I cannot see the shape? Is that what's happening here? Let's try f of 0.0001. Okay, that's a tiny negative number. It's also a tiny negative number. So what about at 0 should be 0? Yeah, so is it not a max then? Interesting. Let's look at this again. Unless did they not mention the answer zeros? Minimum. No, okay. Is this answer missing or am I making a mistake? Okay, so fx equals x power 11 minus 6x power 10. Okay, so the derivative would be 11x power 10 minus 60 x power 9. You want that to equal 0. So f derivative of 0 equals 0. But f second derivative of 0 equals 0. F third derivative of 0 equals 0. Fourth derivative of 0 equals 0. Fifth derivative of 0 equals 0. The sixth derivative of 0 equals 0. Seventh, 0 equals 0. 8, 0 equals 0. 9, 0 equals 0. And 10 is less than 0. So, okay, I've gotten a little, I think I'm mixing up my meaning of the higher derivatives here. Hang on. So this one's good. This one tells us the nature. But we need to go on to this one to tell us if it's a saddle. It goes nature, saddle, nature, saddle, nature, saddle, nature, negative, a max. Ah, I was wrong the last time. It's a maximum. Well, isn't that what I... Maximum. Yeah, I think I'm right. I think I'm right. I think a 0 answer is missing. It's a maximum. Yeah. But it's just a graph. I can't see any shape to it at all. It's supposed to have a minimum at 60 over 11, which is 6. Oh. Okay, there it is. Oops. There we go. Okay, so let's check our answer here. Max at 0, that looks right. Minimum at 60 over 11, that looks right. Inflection at 54 over 11. So this one is switched from being concave to convex. That looks right. 0 to 6 is fallen. looks right. But less than 0 and more than 6, it's rising. So it's rising here. Yeah. And then concave up when it's more than about 5. Yeah. And then down when it's less than 5. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure they've missed the answer for 0. Minimum at 0 increasing, decreasing minimum at a maximum at 0. I mean, yeah, I'm sure of it. I'll open a ticket.